we're back with another episode.
Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's good. Happy Easter, everybody. That's love. They hung him high. They stretched him wide. And in 3 days, for me,
Pigs will fly.
Really? Pigs will fly. I cannot with you. I can't. This episode of the Face Off and Fleming and Fowler is sponsored by Peeps. Taste the rainbow. That's not their thing. And we're not sponsored by Peeps.
No, I wish. Wouldn't that be a fun one?
Oh my gosh. Peeps, we want to be your podcast.
We want to be your peeps.
You want to be your peeps. Come on. Sponsor our podcast. We love Peeps.
We're like the only two people who actually like Peeps.
Yes. We're probably keeping you guys open right now.
At least.
Positive of it.
At least in Texas.
Yeah, definitely. How was your week this past week?
Oh, my week was fine. Today is Easter.
Woo-hoo.
Jesus has risen.
Jesus broke the chains. Jesus broke the chains.
Went to church early as all get out. And
I went to Bibbside Baptist.
did you get a Baptist? I went to the house of the Lord.
Hallelujah.
My church has spiced it up in the last couple of months, I guess. And by
Really?
spiced it up, I mean Kentucky Fried.
What do you mean? Like real spice?
Like 11 herbs and spices.
Did they give y'all Kentucky Fried Chicken today?
No, they just had black people in the choir, but a lot of them.
Because that's the same.
Well, when I tell you, everyone on stage, it was probably like 2/3 black people.
Really?
And I was like, this is gonna be good.
Well, you know, black people traditionally come out for Easter. More people come out for Easter.
But
anyway.
the choir has never, it's always been like white and brown. Yeah. This was dark and soulful. I loved it. It was like Sister Act come to life.
Happy
when
day.
I tell you, all the songs were great. We were bopping. There was foot stomping and soul and a lot of break checks, and
I love it.
I loved it. It was great. I was very happy.
Did you clap on 2 and 4 or 1 and 3?
I'm trying to think.
We're going to see how black or white you are.
I think I'm a 2-4 clapper.
Okay, that's your black side coming out.
Yeah.
Good. If you clap on 1 and 3, wrong.
Yeah.
Don't ever clap on 1 and 3 people. Ever.
That's because black people hear 1, 2, 3, 4, but white people hear 1, 2, 3.
No. White people hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good.
Oh, that's good.
How was your Easter? How was your week?
My week was pretty good. My Easter was nice and quiet. Didn't do anything super crazy. Just went to Trader Joe's. Shouts out to Trader Joe's. Thank you for being open on Easter.
The only place open on Easter.
Seriously.
basically.
H-E-B wasn't even open. That was sad. But other than that.
He said, on the Sabbath, we rest.
Exactly. We know who's the Christians and who's not. Anyway, but just kidding. But yeah, it was nice and quiet. Just, super chill. I want to tell you a little story. Weird thing happened to me, right? So on Thursday, I'm sitting at my desk, at home or whatever, just working, and I hear a lawnmower, which is not abnormal for me to hear, during the middle of the day or in the morning. And so I look on my security camera because I'm like, this sounds really close. I see this black man literally cutting my lawn, and I'm like, who the hell is this
Jordan
black man?
Peele shit.
Right. I was like, sir, this better not be the HOA because my grass did look a hot mess.
Will they come out and cut your grass?
Yes, they will. And then they will overcharge you for it. But I didn't get a letter that says, hey, bitch, cut your grass. But so he came out there, was cutting my grass and everything. And I finally go outside and I'm like, hey, dude, what are you doing? Who are you? And he turns around and it's my neighbor from across the street. He was like, hey, he was like, the free of charge. I just want to cut your grass because, he's like, I know you probably working really hard at that hospital. And he was like, I was like, your grass never looks like this. And he was just like, yeah, I just wanted to cut it because I didn't want the HOA to say anything
The
to
hospital you haven't worked at in months.
I know.
You forgot to mention
So I literally
that
have my lawnmower was broken. I actually just got it back. So thankfully I got it fixed. But yeah, shouts out to my neighbor. Married man, his wife was outside with him. So she saw everything. So
we were all very worried.
I'm just saying. Because, men do stuff like that. You be, who's this little husband you cutting her grass? I don't want your husband. No. I want my own. Thank you.
I don't want your man because I got it like that. And I mean it. Okay. I'm not doing that.
But yeah, so it was, my week nonetheless was really good.
What a nice thing to do.
Yeah. That's neighbors taking care of neighbors.
Truly. I don't do shit for... Well, I did. Remember I told you my neighbor told me she had wasps because they were at my house?
Yeah.
I did call not an instigator, not an inspector. Exterminator. I called an exterminator. That was my neighborly thing.
Oh my God.
Words are hard on
the
Sundays.
The fact that I didn't know where you were going with that, and I was like, wait, what? The instigator, an investigator, what?
An investigator to figure out where the wasps were coming from.
That's hilarious.
Do you talk to your neighbors a lot?
Not really. There was one neighbor that I talked to pretty frequently. She was in the military, or she is in the military. She ended up getting deployed somewhere, but she used to live across the street because every time I was outside cutting my grass, she would come out and we would like borrow each other's tools and stuff if we needed something.
Oh, that's nice.
And then my neighbor, of course, right next door, he's my landscaper. So we talk pretty often. And then the guy that cut my lawn, we just see each other and just wave. But other than that, the people on my left side, I don't talk to them. They're weird. They are. I stay away from them. They're both military too.
That's
but they're
smart.
Weird.
That's
Their daughter's really weird. That's the one who kicked the soccer ball in my yard, and then I kept it, and I still have it. Because I told her, I said, if you want your ball back, tell your parents to come get it. So I'm that neighbor. But anyway.
Ooh, you're that lady.
Yeah, because she tried to jump my fence.
You're like the old man from Up.
Yes.
She tried to jump your fence?
She did, and she broke a part of it, and I caught her jumping it, and I was like, get your ass off the goddamn fence. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot somebody lived here. Bitch, you know somebody lives here. Like, stop.
I forgot you're my neighbor.
Ridiculous. But anyway, then one of my supervisors tried to call a meeting at 4:30 on Friday.
That's an immediate no for
Why y'all
me.
do stuff like that? Why? Nothing is ever that important on a Friday that you need to call a meeting. Nothing. Especially if it doesn't affect
that
that
paycheck.
paycheck.
At 5, right?
No.
What time do you get off? 4:30?
When I get off.
Oh.
You don't tell me when I get off. I'm cutting this out.
Oh, sorry.
It's your white safety coming out again.
I'm working on it.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, you ready to get on into the show?
Let's get into it, yeah.
Get into it, yeah. Well, first things on the docket, your homegirl, your best friend, Britney Spears.
I told y'all. I said, this girl is free. That IUD is out. Her legs are spread. She's with her man, and It's going to happen. Prayerfully, it did.
Yeah.
Britney Spears is pregnant. I am so excited.
I'm excited.
She
for
is
her too.
40, which is mildly concerning, but I feel like if anyone can have a geriatric pregnancy, it's someone with a shit ton of money.
Shut the fuck up, you ageist. That's not geriatric. In medical terms, yes.
In medical terms, it is.
She think doesn't look 40, though.
No.
Even as hard of a life, quote unquote, she still is a millionaire, but like, hard of a life she has had, she still actually looks pretty good.
She looks pretty good. There's still some like weird stuff going on in her eyes. Like she's it looks like she's in the sunken place.
Yeah, she definitely is.
But I'm excited for a Britney baby. I hope she's gonna have a girl, I think.
Really? Is she that far along? She already knows what it is? Damn.
Listen, I feel it's a girl.
I just want to know where are her other 2 kids.
Yeah, she posted a pink teacup
with Kevin Federline. You haven't seen him or heard from him.
Those 2. Yeah, he probably stole them back.
Well, he did because they tried to peg her out to be crazy.
She posted a pink teacup with some pink flowers on her Instagram and said, I lost so much weight on my Maui trip only to gain it back. I thought, geez, what happened to my stomach? My husband said, no, you're food pregnant, silly. So I got a pregnancy test and I'm having a baby.
That's so awesome.
I know. I'm excited for her. So good. You know what? Good things are happening.
Absolutely.
We're turning it around halfway through the year.
Absolutely.
Ish. Not quite. We're making our way there. I'm excited for her.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I just pray that she, has a healthy pregnancy. This is one of the reasons too why I think celebrities keep their pregnancies private. Because did you hear all that shit that people are alleging that like ASAP Rocky is, having an affair? Not affair because they're not married. What's the thing?
He was cheating on
Here's
a narrative we're not gonna help spew along.
No,
that he is cheating on his pregnant girlfriend.
No, I just think that I don't
leave
think people,
her alone.
I don't think people really understand. Here's my thing. I don't understand why people do stuff like that when you know that's a vulnerable time for a woman to be sitting here pregnant, carrying life, like super exhausted, just trying to mind her business, and then y'all just I heard.
She has done nothing for us but serve and give.
Seriously.
During this entire pregnancy.
Exactly. Like just
she didn't have to share shit. She could have just been holed up in Barbados. We would have never seen her. We would have never known she was pregnant. Exactly. She's giving us everything, and you motherfuckers have the audacity.
You're ungrateful.
The audacity to start a rumor like that. I saw it and I scrolled right past because I said, I'm not letting that energy come into my world.
Well, and this is why she's not going to give us another album, because y'all keep what the fuck shit.
Rakim would never.
Who is Rakim?
A$AP Rocky.
Oh, that's right. You did say that before. That's his name. I'd never do that, but yeah.
On his government name.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. He didn't. That's a lie. And the guy who started the rumor said, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't have tweeted out information that I didn't double check."
All right.
Stupid.
Keep y'all better learn from Tasha K.
How dare you?
Y'all better learn from Tasha K and Cardi B situations. Stop making up stuff on people, because when you do stuff like that, it's going to cost you in the end.
She seems so happy. Did you see her Vogue interview?
I did.
She just seems
She's
and
beautiful.
looks and it just radiates happiness. I love it.
I still kind of wish, I know people are going to.
That her and Drake had a baby?
No.
Her and Chris Brown had a baby?
Why do you keep coming to Drake? No one wants to have a baby with Drake. No one. Her and Chris Brown. I just wish in another life they were just, that was his baby. And they were together.
Listen, it's a multiverse, you know, and maybe in the
metaverse.
Yeah.
It could be.
Maybe in another timeline.
Yeah.
What happened didn't happen. And their baby would be the singiest, danciest, swaggiest.
Danciest.
Little light-skinned baby.
Well, I mean, positive energy toward Rihanna right now.
Y'all keep her name out your mouth.
Seriously, leave her alone. Well, speaking of pregnancy and the fact that, you know, men without uteruses are trying to continue with the fuck shit. Did you hear about these 3 different companies? I'm sorry, Yelp, Citigroup, and Apple. They're expanding their employee benefits to cover abortion care. So for their members or their employees who want to get an abortion, they are allowing them to, they're covering it through their benefits and stuff.
How does that work if they live in the pre-civil rights South?
I don't know. It's where you told me something about that they were that Yelp was actually going to be providing transportation to states where abortion is still legal.
I think it was housing, but let me fact check myself.
What did I say? Transportation? My bad. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
It had to have been Yelp.
Yeah, it was Yelp.
Oh, they're paying for their employees to travel for abortions. That's what it was.
Okay.
So in the same vein as their rights, but
they got to put a cap on that, because I would be using that and be like, I'm
going
every week.
So I could only find a clinic in Miami,
right? Specifically in
specifically for Rolling Loud Weekend.
Yeah, I can only find one in Italy. That would be hilarious. But yeah, I mean that's great for those companies to be doing that. Also,
I mean, if you're gonna cover, I don't know. I don't know. That's such a touchy thing.
Yeah, I just think, again, if you don't have a uterus, you should not make.
On one hand, I'm like, yeah, it's my health and my insurance should cover it. On the other hand, I'm like, why do you want to cover my abortion so I can come back to work so I'm not on maternity leave?
True.
It's never easy with these people.
That, or they're just really trying to be, you know, no company cares about their employees. I don't care who you are, allegedly, but no company really gives a shit about employees. They don't. But maybe it's for them to look good, and then maybe too they can claim it on their taxes for charity and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's always a tax write-off. People are not doing anything because of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it for a tax write-off. So anyway, but what were you telling me about something about Texas teachers or something like that? Something about a work week or whatever.
So there's a school district in Texas. I feel like we keep talking about how ain't no one want to be a teacher because teachers are just underpaid, underrespected, overworked.
Yeah, seriously.
Tired as hell. There's a school district, Jasper ISD.
Where's it at?
Couldn't tell you.
You're a Texan, ma'am.
Texas. Do you know how big Texas is?
No, because I've only lived in San Antonio.
Okay, well, let me just tell you. It takes longer to drive out of Texas. Like, you could fit probably 4 other states in Texas.
Because y'all are probably as wide as Florida is long.
Yeah.
Because I think it takes like 8 hours to go from top to bottom, from the Panhandle all the way down. It takes about 8 hours, because even it would take 6 hours to drive from Tallahassee to Fort Lauderdale.
I'm telling you, this place is huge. The only place bigger than us is where? Alaska.
California.
No, Alaska.
California is bigger than y'all.
No, it is not.
Like long, like you got to turn it.
It's longer, but it's not bigger.
Oh.
This is like East Texas.
Why is Alaska bigger than y'all? That's weird.
Alaska's huge. It's
really?
It's just like barren wasteland. I don't know if that's accurate. I was gonna say, I don't think get upset if that's.
I don't think Sarah Palin would be excited about you saying that about her, because she could see Russia from her house.
Okay, so I was thinking about that. So glad you brought that up. I was thinking about that the other day.
Wasn't she a gym?
But isn't Russia super close to
It
Alaska?
is.
I know she probably couldn't see Russia, but it's not
Yeah.
like wild that she would
Yeah.
be like, I can see. I thought about that the other day, and I was like, I just remember that being such a like. It was like her saying the Earth was flat. People were
Right.
like, "What an idiot!"
Well, you know, I actually did end up seeing this like this little short film that was talking about Alaska and talking about that there's literally like a 2-mile stretch between Russia and Alaska where I think in the wintertime,
It's just like flat as hell,
yeah,
right?
and if the ocean or the ocean freezes over and you can literally walk to Russia from like Alaska on the ocean floor.
I don't know why. It just in my head the other day, I was like, people were really flaming her, but I feel like those are really close, and there could be, I don't know.
Yeah, but
also, I don't remember the context because when was that? Like 2010?
Yeah,
or something.
2008.
2008.
Yeah, because that was when Obama won.
So
the
like, I'm
election
not trying to.
with McCain.
I'm not trying to blast
McCain, sorry.
from the past or anything. And
Yeah.
I was like in 8th grade, so I didn't know anything about politics.
Yeah.
but I just remember specifically it was on SNL.
You were in 8th
It was
grade?
on 2008. I might have been a freshman in high school.
I was a senior in college.
Jesus,
Yeah,
Louise,
I graduated 2009.
we are not the same.
But yeah, I think it was just the fact that she was just like, you cannot look outside of your window literally and see Russia. Like you can't do that. But in some parts of Alaska, you actually can. It was just a fun ride for Tina Fey and
Oh
SNL.
yeah,
It was just a fun ride.
yeah. Can you imagine being a cast member on any kind of like sketch show like that, and there just being one political person or someone all in the news, and they're like, "Hey, you look just like them, and you're doing this bit," and that just becomes your whole thing.
Absolutely. Like Alec Baldwin
Prime
playing
time. Trump.
hilarious. Melissa McCarthy playing what was his name? Sean Spicer, hilarious, and Tina Fey, Sarah Palin. I mean, what else do you really
Unmatched.
want? Yeah. And Maya Rudolph just plays all the black people.
Yeah. Talk about token.
Exactly.
This is like East Texas, like past Houston towards Beaumont. Anyway, they in the 22-23 school year will be switching to a 4-day school week.
Oh, that's permanent?
For the year, yeah, because they have no teachers.
Ooh.
They don't have enough staff.
Wow.
Which I'm like, I wish more places didn't have enough staff. I would love. I don't know how that.
Vanderbilt Hospital doesn't have enough staff.
I don't know how that works for development and on kids and schedules and stuff, but I wish we had a 4-day work week.
I don't think kids need to be in school. And this is me talking as not a parent. I just personally don't believe that children actually need to be in school for 4 days a week.
Or maybe like in the classroom 4 days, and on the 5th day, like field trips always.
Yeah.
Go do something.
You need to teach kids how to be an adult because we were lied to. I don't know about the rest of y'all out there in podcast land, but we were lied to, damn it.
Yeah, I just got a notice in the mail saying my mortgage is going up, which I don't think is fair. No one prepared me for that.
Jesus.
And I would have liked a class.
Yeah, so I checked my mortgage too, and it was like, it went up by $50. And I was like, $50?
I went up by $200.
And then somebody else was like, mine went up by $600. I was like, let me shut the fuck up.
Yeah, take your $50. That's just like a nice meal out a month.
Exactly. I'm like, and that wasn't even really the mortgage. It was taxes. And that's the thing too. People are always talking about, oh, you can get a mortgage for $900. You are a $900 lie. Most people, when they get a mortgage, that's including your actual mortgage, but it's also including your homeowner's insurance. If you have an FHA loan or if you have MPI insurance, that all of that encompasses that. So your base mortgage may be $900, but when you put all those fees on top of that, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,100 a month, depending on how much your house was. But yeah, Texas is definitely having a mortgage crisis right now. Like they just released all of these appraisals, and I mean, people are paying sometimes, I mean, almost double what they were paying last year for their mortgages. And it's insane.
Well, that's because it's the same way when I bought my house.
And scary.
What it was worth or what it was appraised for the year before I bought it versus what I bought it for. Insane.
See, I bought into equity in my house.
On one hand, I'm like, I'm the reason this shit's going up.
Exactly.
But I needed a house.
Very true. The thing is, you can capitalize on because my house right now is worth $120,000 more than what I actually bought it for, and yeah, that looks great on paper because I actually bought into equity. They actually undersold it by $40,000. But if I were to sell right now, where am I going to live?
You can't afford, and no one can afford anything.
No,
right now.
the rent is way too high.
San Antonio. Did I tell you that San Antonio is like top 3 on the list of cities where it is cheaper to buy a house than rent.
Are you serious?
Because the mean rent price for a house here is like $2,400, and the average mortgage, well, this was like, before all this, the average mortgage payment is $1,900.
Wow. That's a lot.
So it's cheaper to buy a house here than it is to rent anything.
So is it cheaper to rent in Austin then? Because Austin is very expensive.
You can't buy in Austin for shit. No one can afford to fucking buy a house.
And you can't afford to rent either. Because your roommate.
Yep.
That's insane. All that to say, appeal your stuff. Go to the clerk of courts and
I wonder
appeal
what I would say like the median the median home price in Austin right now is probably like $500,000.
I'm quite sure. It's probably compared to Florida, honestly. Which I don't understand why, because I'm like, you offer nothing. Like, you don't have a beach.
Content,
you ain't got shit.
Entertainment. Oh, us?
Yeah, Austin ain't got no beach.
Oh, yeah, the median. Man, I'm good. Y'all, I should go on the lottery. The median home price in Austin is, it's $5 shy of $500,000.
$500,000.
Which would make it $499,995.
Exactly. That's insane.
And that's for like a tiny house.
I was gonna say, you probably in the hood. That's how it is in South Florida. You get a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for $750,000. Your next door neighbor is a crackhead.
They said home prices in Austin rose $100,000 in 6 months.
That's insane. The economy is gonna crash. The housing market is going to crash.
It's giving 2008. It's giving The Big Short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, I don't think it has anything to do with Biden or Trump. I really don't. I think it's just COVID has come in and happened, and everyone has had to readjust, unfortunately, very quickly. And people are trying to recoup what they lost in 2020 and 2021. And it's a burden on the middle class altogether. But yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the presidents, because they don't got no real power anyway.
No, it has to be like you remember all those articles that were coming out talking about how kids were graduating from college and moving back home?
Yeah.
So you have all these people and they're like trying to pay loans off.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's doing that.
You have all these people who were living at home and working, trying to pay student loans. This pandemic happens. Your loans go on hold. You still are probably living at home. You might have money saved now and you're like, well, fuck it. I don't have a loan payment.
And everybody's holding out.
Interest rates were low, hella low. So
I
wonder if there was just like this surge in people who were like ready to buy a house. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, because I'm just like, people there at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was like, oh my God, nobody has a job. And then Black Friday came and everybody was shopping. What? Like, where y'all get all this money from? But then people on unemployment were getting way more money on unemployment than some of them were actually getting out paycheck. So that was a whole nother, talk show.
What a crazy couple years it's been.
I want to get off this ride. I don't want to keep riding this ride. It freaking sucks. Well, speaking of Texas and other things, and being on a crazy ride here in Texas, your favorite governor, Greg Abbott.
My favorite governor is Matthew McConaughey.
Is he not really a governor?
No, who's he a governor? He will be.
Oh, who is he? Where? Here in Texas? You think?
Yeah, I think I feel like he's gonna run for governor.
Well, he better hurry up and put himself.
I'm gonna manifest that.
Okay, well,
he's already. What do they call him at UT? The Oh God, what do they call him?
I don't know.
The something of culture. God, what do they call him? Master of culture.
Something like that.
The ambassador of culture. Something. I feel like I think he'll run for something.
I mean, who else do we have to run against Greg Abbott at this point?
Beto.
He already lost.
I know.
Because Beyonce and them came in too late. I'm like Beyonce. That's the only time I was ever really mad at Beyonce. I'm like, Beyonce, how could you come the day of voting talking about, hey Texas, everybody go out there and vote? No, you were supposed to. If you were going to endorse him, you should have endorsed him the whole time.
Her team got to her too late.
Listen, and then Oprah pissed me off when she did that with Stacey Abrams. I'm not even a Georgian, but I wanted Stacey Abrams to win so bad, and then Oprah was going door to door on the day of. Oprah, you had months. This lady went on a whole campaign trail. If you knew you were going to endorse her, you should have did that months ago.
They're busy people.
Man, Oprah ain't doing nothing. She got other people to run her businesses.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
They didn't put it on the calendar till
ridiculous. Anyway,
what Greg do?
So Greg basically did this press conference, and all of the illegal immigrants that are crossing their borders, crossing the United States borders, instead of him keeping them in Texas, what he is doing, he's literally putting them on a bus and taking this bus to D.C., Washington, D.C., that is, and dropping them off at the Capitol, saying that they are now Joe Biden's issue.
You know when...
And the first bus arrived, I think it was like last week, Wednesday or something. And
you know when your neighbor's like garbage can, something blows off of it and there's trash on your yard and you could easily go pick it up and throw it away, but you just like kick it.
Yeah, in the middle of the street.
Their side. Absolutely. In the middle of the street.
Yep, that's exactly what
he was like, I'm tired of dealing with this shit. I'm tired of people talking shit to me about it. Y'all can come the fuck in. I'm gonna bust you right up to the Capitol.
But he would welcome in Ukrainian refugees with no problem. But
Well, that's
somehow,
different. Those are white people.
Mexican men and women are invaluable to Texas.
He said, I'm not doing this anymore.
It's ridiculous. It's honestly absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so even to...
That's a long-ass bus ride.
That is. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me you're paying for, number one, to charter a bus. Number two, you're paying for gas.
In this economy?
And toll, because I'm quite sure you have to pay a toll on the way there. And you mean to tell me you're just going to drop them off? Do you give them snacks? What do you do? What do they have to take bathroom breaks? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
So you're wasting taxpayer dollars. Seriously.
And that shit has to have AC.
I'm just like...
And a bathroom.
Greg Abbott. They probably got TV too, I'm quite sure.
They've probably never been on a bus like that in their life.
I'm quite sure they have.
On a chartered bus?
I think everybody is.
It's
charter buses
chartered.
are like a universal experience.
In Mexico?
Yes. Absolutely.
I just don't believe a Mexican charter bus is equivalent to a U.S. government-funded charter bus.
Have you ever seen U.S. government-funded vehicles?
Because remember when he was sending those kids that they got at the border up to Dallas? Those charter buses were nice.
Listen, he ain't doing all that because he's mad.
I'm just saying.
I can guarantee you. He probably putting them on, what do they call them?
Those school buses you can repo from
with
the
no
government.
AC. With no AC. Like, listen, government issue stuff, they don't work. Ask the military. But yeah, so he's busting these people to D.C. and I think it's absolutely insane. I don't know how this became a political podcast, but unfortunately it kind of has.
Here we are again, speaking on things we know nothing about.
Exactly. Also to Brian Kemp, which I think is the dumbest thing in the world. He is the governor of Georgia, soon to be ex-governor of Georgia because Stacey Abrams is going to win. Anyway.
Stacey.
So anyway, he basically just signed a bill for the citizens of Georgia to be able to walk around and carry a gun without a license. Like, why? Why?
Listen, I'm all for guns. Love a gun.
Absolutely. We believe in gun rights.
Love people that love guns. Guns are cool if you want to be responsible with them. Just fucking get a background check.
It's not that difficult.
And pay for it and use it responsibly. But
Absolutely. So you're not going to require, or you're not going to say, oh, well, you no longer have to have full coverage on your car in order to drive a car. Georgia still does state inspections, like vehicle inspections. Are you going to say that that's gone now? You don't have to have a damn driver's license. Like, are you going to start taking all that stuff away? Of course
has got to be like because of sales, right? Like they want to sell more guns, less people.
I mean, the NRA, I'm quite sure, has $1 trillion in business. I would assume.
Listen, I don't know much, but I do know every movie I watch about the NRA. They're doing some shady shit.
The NRA is kind of like Scientology, I feel like.
People just buy into it.
Absolutely.
And buy into it, and it's bigger than anyone thinks it is.
And no one knows, like, who's the president of it. You just hear it.
You know what it is.
You know it exists, but you don't know anything about it.
So I can just roll up to Georgia, go to Walmart, Academy, whatever, and buy a gun.
Mm-hmm. Without a license. Yep. I just want to know who you're targeting, Brian Kemp, because I feel like you're doing that for a specific reason, and I think you know that your crime, number one, is going to go up. Number two, your school shootings is going to go up. So what's your purpose of doing that? I just would, inquiring minds would kind of like to know, but not really.
Drop it in the comments, slide into our DMs, let us know.
It's crazy. Well, speaking of somebody
this is a bleak ass week.
I know, it's insane.
I don't like it.
Also, too, one of our favorite actors is in the hot seat. Well, not necessarily a hot seat, but he's been going through a lot of stuff. I really don't know what's going on, so you are definitely the resident person to tell us about it. What is going on with Johnny Depp? And why is this like the hashtag going on right now saying free Johnny Depp?
Jonathan Depp.
I said Depp. My bad. Depp.
No, that's Patrick Dempsey. Johnny Depp. We'll get there.
Mick
It's okay. First of all, I cannot tell you, he's in this huge lawsuit right now with Amber Heard.
And Amber Heard is?
I literally don't know her from anything other than she had affairs with a lot of celebrities, and she was married to Johnny Depp for a year. And she's been in these like, what's the word for legal battles? Boom.
You are forgetting a lot of your words today.
Dude. It's all the peeps.
So do they have any kids?
They do not have any kids.
Oh, that's good.
He just has those two kids, the one that looks exactly like him, that and that other little boy who's her brother. But let me see what movie she was in. Why she was in Aquaman, but no one, who the fuck knows who was in Aquaman?
Except for Jason Momoa. That's the only person I remember.
Yeah. She was in a bunch of movies that like you wouldn't even, she's fucking relevant.
Yeah, no one really cares about her. We care more about
she's
Johnny
relevant.
Depp.
Anyway, when they were getting a divorce, it was this big thing, and while she filed for divorce, she said that he was very abusive to her physically.
Uh-huh.
Today's gonna be a long episode. Please bear with me, everyone. Physically, verbally, emotionally, all of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was this huge divorce settlement. Took forever, and finally they settled $7 million. That's what she was gonna get. All was cool. All was well. And this was like, I think they got divorced. They were married from like 2015 to 2016. They got divorced.
Oh, wow.
And it was settled by like 2017. Everyone was like, cool. So then she decided to go start talking to the Washington Post.
Because that's smart.
Because, I don't know if $7 million goes real quick. I don't know how taxes work. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
She has to maintain her lifestyle.
So she started running her mouth again. This is how I was abused. Remember me? I was married to Johnny Depp. He was so awful. Da, 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 da.
Remember me?
She's like, oh, did y'all forget? So everyone was like, oh shit. So he started getting all these roles pulled from him, all these sponsorship. They took him off of Pirates of the Caribbean. They took him out of Fantastic Beasts. Yes, he got all these roles pulled. So then he was pissed. So they've been on, and he was sued her for libel. He sued her for all of these things. They had one lawsuit, I think, in the UK, and he lost. And it was, so now he's suing her again for defamation. For $50 million.
Good for him.
She's countersuing him for $100 million. And she's now saying not only was he verbally and physically abusive, but he sexually abused me.
Allegedly.
So now they're finally going to trial, and it's just this long, drawn-out trial. But the fun part is, like, they're both famous people. So everyone that they're pulling into this trial is famous people.
That's hilarious.
And all of his friends to talk about their relationship and read their text messages and all of this shit. So everyone's just sitting back. And he looks so sad. I don't know enough to be like, Amber Heard's a liar and fuck you, Amber Heard. But it's seeming to me through the extenuous TikTok research that I've done.
Yeah.
That she's lying and this is unfounded. And she was abusive to him, actually. And I feel very bad for him. And also, I saw Fantastic Beasts 3, and he was supposed to be... Do you know anything about that movie?
No.
You know anything about Harry Potter?
No.
Great. Awesome. Glad I don't know why we do the show together. Anyway, in Harry Potter, the whole thing at the very end is like there's this very powerful wand, right?
Yeah. Oh, is that the thing they were like, that thing on TikTok? Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
anyway. The guy who had the very powerful wand, when they ended up doing another series, and it's like a prequel to Harry Potter, and Johnny Depp was the guy who ends up turning bad and had that very powerful wand. And he like played it perfectly because he's supposed to be like, Dumbledore's supposed to be gay, and this was the guy that he was supposed to be in love with. And you know how Johnny Depp's like kind of scary, and he's kind of like feminine, but so like
very
he
mysterious.
can androgynous. You could be like, I could get a gay vibe from him. I can believe that. I'm gonna buy into it. So it worked. And then they cast this new guy who I'm like, never had a dick in your mouth. I do not believe it. No. And it ruined the whole thing for me. And I was just used to seeing Johnny Depp.
You're not going to just skate over that.
Like, you're selling me a package, and I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't the same without him. And he lost all of these roles because of all of the things she's saying about him. So I'm upset with her.
Well, the thing, what I hate about situations like this, and not that I'm, this, man hero, like, oh yes, all men. But here's what I hate. I hate when not even just in Hollywood, but just in society in general, when someone comes out with allegations against someone else. That should not be a free for all for you to say, we are taking all your projects off. You are guilty until proven innocent. That's not the way it works. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Like, even I feel like with certain things that have occurred, like even like with Will Smith, like the whole situation that just happened, like people saying, oh, some of his movies that or projects that he's been working on, they're going to be delayed a little bit. It's just like, okay, the thing is, we know he slapped Chris Rock. That wasn't an alleged thing. We have evidence of that. But even like with T.I. T.I. and Tiny had allegations against them, right? And of sexual assault.
Sex trafficking?
No,
people?
They were not. Allegedly, they were not doing none of that. Nope. We will not speak on nobody else's business. All I'm saying is that
it's just what I heard.
There were allegations that were brought up against them. That people started like pulling. We're not gonna get into all the depth of that. But all I'm saying is they pulled some. The point I'm trying to make is that they they pulled a lot of his stuff, and I'm like, that's not fair. When
because he might have not have done that.
Because nothing was concrete at the time. But then I'm thinking about the crew members, the directors, all of these people who have worked on this project, and you're basically penalizing them for something that's happening with someone else, and something that's even not definitive just yet. Now certain things are still definitive. I think things are still up in the air. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I just don't think that it's fair that you pull Johnny Depp off of, different things. I get it. You don't want to have negative press, but at the same time, if something has not been concrete, he has not been charged with anything, you should not then be taking roles from him and taking his livelihood from him. That's wrong.
I agree, but I think this is all just, I think #MeToo really it was something Hollywood did not expect. Like, they heard rumblings of it and they were like, it's fine. It's Harvey Weinstein. What are they going to do? Mm-hmm. It's da-da-da-da. And when it got as big as it did, and when so many people spoke out about it and refused to work with people, and then there was so much negative press and people were boycotting shit, and they were like, oh shit. Yeah. This is real. So now it's all damage control on the front end. They're like, well, we'll just pull this. We'll put someone else in. Worst comes to worst, people still go see it and they're a little upset. Or we could let Johnny Depp be in it. It could turn out even worse than we thought. Yeah. Things could come out that we never knew, and then we're screwed because we still let him be in it. Then we're, they hate us as a production company and yada, yada, yada.
I mean, it's a catch-22 either way, but I just feel like you shouldn't take people off of stuff until things are definitively stated. Like, even with the whole, I won't even use that as an example because it's a horrible example because clearly something happened. They were all three in the truck. Anyway, but
I know. But it's also hard because then I watched, what is that show on Netflix where she was abused and everyone thought she was making it up?
There's a show on Netflix or a movie?
Y'all, this is gonna piss me off. This little girl, someone comes into her house and rapes her. And she was not a runaway, but in the system, and everyone thought she was making it up for attention, and then it starts happening again to other people.
I didn't see that, but I saw the preview
and it starts with
that.
A U or something.
I know what you're talking about.
Discovered. Anyway, then I see shit like that, and I'm like, no, we need to believe people when they say things.
And I'm not saying don't believe them, but what I'm saying is that don't make any rash decisions with this person until things are definitive. Because it goes both ways. If a woman, and it's cause like I said, it's not to protect men and all that kind of bullshit, but even if it was a woman saying that, oh, a woman did this or a woman did that or whatever the case may be, all I'm saying is that don't take people's roles away from them and things that are already in place because of this one person. Stuff is not even definitive yet. There's nothing. No. They haven't been charged. They haven't been convicted of anything just yet. Once that happens, then you can say, okay, well, we're going to make just like with Dave Chappelle and Netflix. I love Netflix approach to Dave Chappelle because they're like, listen, first of all, we already spent too much money on him. That's number one. Okay. Number two,
the bills have been paid.
The bills have already been paid. So we're going to get our viewership from him. But I think that it goes to say that they also too did not believe these things about Dave Chappelle when it came to the LGBTQ plus community, right? But I just think that, again, you should not take away people's roles and their livelihood based off of allegations. I think that's very dangerous because I can come in and allege and say, well, Alyssa's racist. And I can allege that all day long. I got proof. Even though I don't have proof, because I don't have to show you right away.
But you said it.
I said it. Yeah, and then you bring in, tears and sympathy, and then, like you said, you basically broadcast the Me Too movement, and you bring that in, but you're basically utilizing it inauthentically, and then it invalidates everybody else that came before you because now you're doing it to protect your own self or whatever your selfish agenda is.
Yeah, I think Hollywood just for a very long time let so much shit go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That now that things are more exposed, they're like, oh, we're not even gonna do it. You're just done. We're pulling it. We don't have time because, like Harvey Weinstein, we think it's bad, so we'll just let it come out. It'll be fine. It's kind of bad, and then it gets so much worse, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, it becomes a whole circus, and it takes on a life of its own. And I get it. It does take away from the actual project at hand. So then people are more focused on the scandal of what's going on versus the actual art and the work that so many people worked on, blood, sweat, and tears and all that.
And I just, all these, and I get it, two sides to every story, yada, yada. But I just feel like, and again, I'm not in this position, so I don't know. I just feel like if I'm going to, come out and sue you for something at the beginning, I'm going to be like, this is all that I have because I want this once. Not, I'm going to sue you for a couple of things and that doesn't work. So I'm going to sue you for a couple more things and then that doesn't work. And, oh, you did this too. And that doesn't work. There's pictures of him with black eyes. There's all these friends of both of theirs saying how abusive she was to him and how tumultuous their relationship was. So I don't know. I feel bad. That's really shitty. Also, I'm so sad because now all my movies are ruined because he can't be in them.
He was amazing. How is
he not going to be Captain Jack Sparrow?
Exactly.
Come on.
He was hilarious in that movie. Just he is Jack Sparrow. I mean,
that's it.
Yeah,
I think the only company that didn't drop him was Dior.
Who?
Dior.
What was he on there for?
Like he does colognes and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know
Dior
that.
Or Prada. But yeah, everyone dropped his ass.
That's horrible. Then he could come. He should be able to come back and sue them then, depending on whatever the outcome of this lawsuit is. That you're messing up that man's livelihood and you're messing up yours because no one's gonna want to work with you either because you're gonna come out and say some stupid shit like this. I'm not saying that your stuff is stupid. I'm just saying this was like 365 days of marriage and it has ruined his entire life. So y'all be careful out there. Listen, be like Chris Humphries, just disappear.
Listen, I wish I could give a award for smartest man.
Smart guy. Well, I know this episode has kind of been dark a little bit anyway, to a degree, but we do have to talk about it. And we're not going to go
darker.
We're going to make it darker, but we're not going to go too far in depth because this story is really sad and pissing me off. Anyway, Patrick Lyoya, thank you, who was a 26-year-old black man from the Republic of Congo, I believe.
Ooh.
Him and his family came over to the United States, obviously for, the American dream. A lot of people do that, not a problem. He was unfortunately brutally murdered by a police officer, a white police officer, and shot in the back of the head, execution style, over a traffic stop. And his dad begged the police officers or the police department, hey, we want to release the footage. They claimed, alleged that they lost the footage. Then they said, oh, well, the officer's camera wasn't on. The friend that was in the car with him actually videotaped the actual thing.
And
to just see
awful.
To see a person literally get shot in the back of the head at point blank range is you talking about a slap in the face on the Oscars as traumatic. That's bullshit. This 26-year-old, literally, I can go and search and see this man get his brains blown out of his fucking head in real time. He's on the ground. You're talking about, let go of the taser, let go. I don't care if somebody did grab a taser. You literally have a gun in your fucking hand and you shot him at point blank range in the back of his goddamn head. And you're going to go home at night, take a shower, eat your little raggedy ass casserole, and go right to bed and feel perfectly fine about yourself. Anyway, prayers to Patrick Lyoya and his family and friends. It is just a disgusting time in this world, unfortunately. But we had to talk about it because we have to be responsible.
It's like you always, I feel like BLM was so long and so publicized and so traumatic and so emotionally draining that I'm like, that had to be, when bad things start happening to you and short bursts, you're like, surely this is it for a while. Yeah. We're done with that. And then things pop up and I'm like, oh, we're still dealing with it. Yeah.
I think people don't realize it's traumatic being a black person every single day. You're minding your business. And then shit like this that you don't welcome. You didn't do anything to deserve this. You don't do anything to invite this type of behavior, into your life. And it just happens. What's the little saying that people, the little TikTok thing, they're like, when you're a black person, you never have to worry about being alone because there's always a white person in your business. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. It's the fucking truth. 26 years old, Jesus have mercy. Anyway, off that note, what are we watching? This is the part she's really amped for.
Ladies and the two gentlemen out there who watch this show.
And Darren.
I have been just glued to the television, as has most of, Gen Z. Watching the frickin' Ultimatum because Vanessa and Nick Lachey, which like, why are y'all even? Who got this gig?
Who deemed them as like the perfect couple or some shit?
I don't know.
He's still in love with Jessica Simpson.
But they're cringy as a couple.
They are.
After watching that, the things she says, like, there was a time when like, I don't remember. It's at the reunion and someone said something.
Well, tell the people what the ultimatum actually is.
Because
you got super excited.
I know. The ultimatum is another brilliantly written and produced Netflix reality TV show. I don't know what it is about the Netflix reality shows, but I'm just like, I'm all in. This is trash.
Because they did them all during the quarantine.
They did. Trash at its finest. And it's filmed in Austin, Texas.
Oh, is it? I did not know that.
And I really do think all of these couples were from Texas after my Instagram stalking. Basically, they pulled all of these couples who were like from 24 to 26 years old who have been dating all of 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
And one part of the couple has said, hey, either you marry me because I'm ready or you got to move the fuck on. Mm-hmm. And so they come all together. The premise of the show is you pick another person's partner to live with for 3 weeks that you kind of get along with or are attracted to. Then after that, you go live with your original partner for 3 weeks. And at the end of this experience, the person who was given the ultimatum either says, like, yes, I'm ready to marry you, or like, nah, it ain't gonna fucking work.
Yeah.
Bitch.
First of all, let me just start by saying this. She texted me, I think on Tuesday, was like, I need you to watch at least 1 or 2 episodes of the ultimatum so we can speak about this on the podcast. And I'm just like, I don't want to watch this stupid shit. So I watched like 4 episodes and then I was like, fuck this. I went to Google and I was like, hey, what happens at the end? So I'm all caught up.
Utter
without having to watch it.
Complete trash this show is. Basically, it's a bunch of people who say they take their boyfriend or girlfriend on the show and they're like, listen, the person is like, hey, I'm in love with you and I want to marry you and I'm giving you this ultimatum. And then they're like, I'm so sure that we're going to end up together at the end of this. But just in case we're not, I would like to have this experience with these other people. But I mean, we are going to end up together, but I'd like to know.
Mind you, these people are, I think the youngest person was like 23 and the oldest person was like 29.
They are children who have been dating for no time at all.
Yeah.
And it's just messy as hell. It is insane, dude. The things these people do and say, the idea that you would tell your significant other, I love you and I want to marry you. And because you don't want to marry me, we're going to go on the show. You're going to date someone else for 3 weeks. I'm going to date someone else for 3 weeks and we're going to see how it ends up. And you're going to want me even more then. And then all of these people get pissed off when their boyfriend or girlfriend is like over there laughing and having a good time with this person. And they're like, you brought me on this fucking show. What am I supposed to do? Just pout in the room and be pissed off? Like, I had to participate. And they're cool as fuck because all of them have problems. They all needed a counselor on this show is what they needed.
And Nick Lachey was not it.
Nick Lachey. Vanessa didn't know shit. They were like, oh, we were on a break too and we dated other people. Now we're in love.
Weird. But you know what I think it is too? Like, I think people always look at ultimatums as this horrible thing, right? And I think ultimatums are a good thing depending on the situation that you're in. So, for example, I think ultimatums are, in order for them to be a positive thing, they have to be both a benefit and a detriment to both parties involved, right? So in order for us to have this, if you don't do this, then we both lose. But when the ultimatum becomes a benefit for one and a detriment to the other, that's really a non-negotiable disguised as an ultimatum. And I think a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's an ultimatum. That's not an ultimatum. If you're saying that you want to have kids and your partner does not want to have kids, that's not an ultimatum. That's a non-negotiable. Because I'm telling you, at the end of this, if you don't want to have kids, we are done. Like, look at what we do for a living. When I was at the hospital setting. So we tell our patients, hey, in order for you to get out of here and get better to get to your family, you need to get up and work with us to be able to heal, right? So the benefit becomes I get my productivity, but you also get better and get out of here. If you don't get up with me, guess what the crisis is pretty much, or the detriment to the both of us. I don't get my productivity. I got to go find something else to do or find somebody else to see. You don't end up getting better. But if it just benefits one person at the sacrifice of another, that's not an ultimatum. That's literally a non-negotiable.
Well, my thing is, half these couples come in and they're like, we have issues with communication. We have issues because we're not on the same page. But y'all are trying to work out these issues for 3 weeks with other people.
Right.
All you're doing is seeing what your partner doesn't have, and then you're coming back. And then I just need to talk about, and I hate to make this about race, but here we go. 1, 2, 3. The white women on this show. Because they are straight evil.
What's the one girl who ended up with Hunter?
Alexis.
Oh, she's weird.
She isn't.
She was so hurt.
Every face she made, I was like, this bitch is pure fucking evil.
She was like, he basically told me I was unattractive. That man did not say that. He said he was not attracted to you. He never said the word unattractive.
And that was only after he had told you twice he didn't see a future with you. He didn't want to make it work. And she was like, I just think that's lip service.
She was like, well, I can't marry him right now because I make more money than him. Who is your mother?
Girl,
who is your mother?
Then in the reunion when she comes back, first of all, you were on the show for 1 episode.
Seriously.
Sit your ass on they put you on the very end of that sofa because you had nothing to add.
Exactly.
So she's sitting there and they would bring up, okay, you know on reality shows like messy shit happens and there's just some stuff, these people don't want to talk about. Yeah. And you're like, ooh, that was a really weird time. So, of course, that is every single cringy ass thing that happened is exactly what they brought up. Yeah. And this bitch would sit on the side and she'd be like, so then, like, they would ask them a question. The person answering it would kind of, like, answer it but skirt by it. And she'd be like, so then what's the answer? So then are you guys having kids or not? I was like, shut the, you weren't even on the show. Shut up.
She's talking like a viewer. Like she wants to know what you
She was like, well, why? I want to know. I'm like, shut up. Then Madeline, not Madeline, Madeline. The other white girl.
Madeline, that's a...
That bit. Did you see when she goes to get drinks with all the girls?
Yes, I do.
And she was just instigating the fuck out of everyone.
She was. Then she told April, she was like, sometimes after you see you just shut the fuck up. I was like,
she was like, I'm going to say something and it's going to sound offensive. Yeah. And then she's like, you're beautiful. And she goes, thank you. She goes, don't thank. She's like, don't. That's the only nice thing I'm going to say. Yeah. This girl is crazy. And then the other black girl, she pissed off Shanique. Yeah. And the dark-skinned black girl. She gets up because she's like, I'm going to fucking punch this bitch in the face. She walks off. The light-skinned black girl tells Madeline, hey, girl, I think she's mad because she goes, oh, I know. And I don't care. I was like, girl.
Yeah, but she might be going through a baby daddy situation
because she was.
If that baby come out black, that's all I'm gonna say.
I just want to say at the reunion, she was 7 months pregnant, and they stopped filming 6 months ago. The math ain't mathin'.
Pretty much.
And that's why, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I think they were using those silver goblets the entire time because they didn't want to show you who was actually drinking and who wasn't.
Yeah, because everybody had those.
Yeah, and then remember, were you there when April said she was pregnant randomly?
No.
So they all get back.
I only watched the first 4 episodes and I was like, I'm not giving my life any more of this.
It's so toxic. The entire thing is so toxic. The minute someone would tell me like, hey, I think we should go on this show and we either end up marrying or not, I would say not. Next.
Here's the thing. When you give somebody an ultimatum in relationships, this is just my personal opinion as an unmarried woman, okay? When you give someone an ultimatum in a relationship, you are setting yourself up for failure. Because at this point now you're begging them to do whatever it is you want them to do that's a benefit to you and that's a detriment to them. And even if they sign on to do it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to resent you later on. Tell them, people need to be very careful about saying, I'm giving them an ultimatum. It's not an ultimatum. It's a non-negotiable. A non-negotiable for me is smoking. If you are a smoker, I don't care if weed, Black and Milds, or cigarettes, cocaine or crack, whatever you smoke.
You can't smoke
meth, cocaine. All that heroin.
I don't sell crack, motherfucker. I said it.
But any kind of smoking, even if you vape, that is a non-negotiable. That's not an ultimatum. I'm not going to tell you, if you don't stop smoking by January 31st, I'm going to leave you. No, bitch, I'm just going to leave. And I'm not going to tell you about it. Because if I'm telling you something that I want, especially too, it's something as important as having a baby. This is why those questions should be asked on the first date.
And then those motherfuckers, the couple that was like, I want to be, okay, first of all.
Nate was a piece of shit because he was pissed that Shanique didn't pick him. Then April didn't pick him. And he was like, okay, bitch, I'm running out of women. I'm just going to take my woman back.
This man, the whole time, has been like, I want kids, my girlfriend doesn't. I want kids, my girlfriend doesn't. His little girlfriend goes and sits her ass with Colby. And she's like, well, I can't say that I don't want kids. I just don't want them with Nate.
Exactly.
Guess who doesn't even make it to the second episode because his ass fucking proposed to her and they got the fuck off the show. Both of them. Guess who still doesn't have kids and doesn't have a plan?
Well, they said that they decided to have, she's agreeable to have one. But why would you want to force someone to have kids with you when they don't want to? Because then they're going to end up being a shitty parent. And then you're going to end up being a single parent stuck in a marriage with somebody who doesn't want the fucking child.
Also, our whole relationship, you told me you didn't want kids. You've been with this guy for 5 minutes and you told him you just didn't want kids maybe with me, but you could think about having kids.
Exactly. That's so stupid. It's a whole sex orgy thing. I think a lot of these
it's so weird, and I'm like, it never seems like a good, like, you're gonna go watch your significant other date someone else for 3 weeks when y'all already have issues, obviously, because you're on this fucking show and you gave them an ultimatum, and you think that's a good idea.
This is why Hollywood is not real.
Y'all are toxic, and y'all just wanted internet clout.
Yeah,
and
because if you want to fix your relationship, you're not gonna go on a reality show.
And it worked because I tuned in for every fucking episode.
I only watched the first 4, and I was like, I'm not giving any more of my life to this stupid shit. That's definitely a Gen Z situation, because I mean the girl was just like, oh, I want to be a mom so bad. Not that I want to be a good 23 years old. She didn't say I want to be a good wife. I want to be a good person. Oh, I've always wanted to be a mom. Why? Because you want somebody to love you unconditionally. Girl, love yourself, please. For the love of all things that are pure, love yourself. And you got time. Like, I think too, when you have ultimatums too, I think when you're in your 20s, ultimatums don't make any sense. You're in your 20s. You got time. You're still learning how to navigate through this life and be an adult, which by the time you're 37, you still ain't gonna know. Just let me help you. Give you the ending. But also too, when you're at a certain age, like when you're mid to late 30s, you don't have ultimatums anymore. They become non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, first date, do you want kids? Yes or no? No? Have a great day. Even if you're on a dating website and then you see somebody that says in their profile, don't want kids. Why the fuck would you swipe right in hopes that you don't want kids? I can convince them that they want kids.
That's all this show was.
It's like, you will never convince me to like Black Eyed Peas. Oh, you just haven't tried my great grandmama's Black Eyed Peas. Don't want them. My mama know how to cook them, and my grandma, and I'm still not gonna eat them nasty shits.
It was all these people hoping, they're gonna get stuck with someone worser than me for 3 weeks, and then they're gonna realize how good they have it, and they're gonna just change. Stupid.
Exactly.
Also, why did no one tell Shanique her hair looked a fucking mess on the reunion? And that's on y'all, and that's awful. And no one told
her hair actually looked. Well, I didn't.
That blonde Marilyn Monroe shit.
I thought it was cute.
No.
I thought April's
her hair looked good.
She looked good with blonde.
April's blonde looked good. I don't know what was going on with Shanique. She needed to brush those curls out. Ray looked like trash the entire season.
Her makeup didn't match.
And
I don't even know how to do makeup, but I know that meant
I don't know what was good. Y'all just needed hair and makeup on this shit.
When I heard Zay's story, though, I thought it was...
I was like, this man needs therapy.
He does.
He's trying.
And the thing is, but I love the way Shanique's family kind of rallied around him, though.
When they're like, you can call me.
Yeah. And the fact that he's like, he was homeless, living in his car, and then even like the first night that they, were in their apartment or whatever, he was like, I'm cool sleeping on the couch. I'm just like... Nice.
Hey, listen, I love those boys on that show.
Yeah, they're great. It was great entertainment, I feel like, but... for Gen Z.
I will say, when Rachel punched Zay, I was like, girl, you're trying to get your ass beat. That man is huge, and he has anger issues.
I don't think he has anger issues. I think
he is very reactive.
But that doesn't mean you have anger issues. He's okay with dealing with confrontation.
No, he gets mad, he talks over people, and then he storms out of the room.
Well, you know what? I didn't see that part, so I can't.
You are well versed.
You're probably right. No, I only saw the first 4 episodes, and he was nice and calm.
No, he was. He was doing a good job. Do you ever watch? Do you ever get super uncomfortable watching other people's arguments, like in shows and stuff?
No, I love it because I love confrontation.
I start getting like anxious and
really.
And when he would argue, it would be the kind of like. When someone's trying to tell you something and the other person keeps asking a question, but they keep talking over you and they won't let you finish. And he's like, no, let me finish. No, so then what do you want to say? No, so, and I'm like, oh my God. I would get like hot and fucking anxious about it.
No, I just sit and I just be like, these people are stupid. But no, I don't get anxious when people argue. I think it's funny.
We are not the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, if you're looking for something to fill the void, The Ultimate.
As a Gen Z.
Man, I was wrapped up.
I just think, but I think that was a great experiment because I feel like in relationships, you need to know where people will go. Like, you need to know, like, what else are you thinking? And also, too, I think it gave each couple, like, a different perspective because even before they went with their person, even Jake and April were talking and he was just like, yo, like, you never let me express myself to you and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, it shouldn't take you going to live with somebody else for 3 weeks for you to figure that out and to be able to communicate, because you obviously communicated what you needed. Why couldn't you have just gone to, couples counseling and help you figure that out, and y'all could have been in a nice vulnerable space, not at a bar with a goddamn, pool right there with people wearing half naked stuff. Like, come on.
Also, they tried to make Austin look so cool. I was like,
I didn't even know they were in Austin.
I was like, this is not LA, and Austin is not that cool.
Those apartments were very small.
Austin.
Extreme. I was like, is this New York? Like, what the hell?
Wait, are you team counseling before marriage?
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. I think when you establish yourself as a monogamous relationship, and if you all have had the conversation of marriage, even before they propose, I believe that you should go to couples counseling. Absolutely. Because you need someone to help you navigate through tough conversations. And you think as a couple, well, we've talked about all this other kind of stuff, but when you get to see it from someone else's perspective, things open up. What about you?
I'm like, do you need counseling before you're married?
Yes. Yes, you do.
I don't know.
Because think about it. You're two people that are coming together, not as one. You're two individuals coming together to push forth one vision, which is your legacy, right? You don't think you need counseling?
Before you're married?
Yes.
Not like that.
You don't have to go every week, but I'm just saying, like, even if you do like once a month or once every other week, just to have homework assignments to work on as a couple, to be able to go into your marriage with open communication, honesty, vulnerability, transparency. Because then when you don't know that side of that person, then you wake up a year later, this is not who I married. I want to get a divorce. And you end up like Kim Kardashian, married for 72 days.
I don't think they talked at all is the problem.
No, definitely not. They just probably had sex, allegedly.
I don't know. It's just always weird. It's not weird, but it just... when people are like, oh, we're going to counseling.
Why do you think that's weird?
I don't think it's weird. I think when you're dating, it's strange to go to counseling before you're married.
But if you once you're engaged, you don't think you should go to counseling?
No, yeah. I think once you're engaged, you can go to counseling. But like if you're just dating, why the fuck are you going to counseling?
Because it helps you with your relationship.
Yeah, but then you shouldn't be dating.
Why not?
You should be coming together. You should be able to navigate at least that shit. That's not the hard shit.
But counseling, but see, it prepares you for the hard shit though. I think counseling should be a regular normal thing in relationships. I think it helps prepare you for marriage.
I'm just telling you, when I hear it, it sounds fucking off.
Really?
Yes.
That speaks volumes.
Probably. I'm an incredibly deeply toxic person.
Don't say that about you. Well, when they tell you who they are, believe them the first time.
Hey, when y'all see me on my Netflix show, when I'm doing some wild shit, like yelling at someone and throwing water across the table.
Can I just be the executive producer, please?
You can. Just remember, you heard it here first.
Yes, definitely. No, I think counseling in relationships should be the cornerstone, because
I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, when I hear that people are dating and in counseling, I'm like,
you just think it's weird?
Yeah.
I think that's very noble. I think you're preparing yourself for courtship.
How many people do you know that are dating and are in counseling? Or dated and we're going to counseling?
Oh, quite a few.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
My sister actually did that.
You're lying.
My sister and my
She
brother.
married a pastor. That's not the same.
No,
They're
but
in Christian counseling.
They went to regular
Counseling?
Yeah. But my brother-in-law don't like people anyway, so even though he's a pastor. Selena, don't show him this. But he don't like people no way. But no, they went to counseling before they got engaged. Because they actually did workbooks and everything like that, because they knew that they wanted to marry each other.
Were they older?
No, my sister got married when she was, 34, 35? Yeah, and they're the same age. Yeah, but even two other friends of mine who are married, they went to counseling while they were dating. And like I said, it wasn't like a once a week thing. It may have been like once a month, once every other month, just to kind of get like different ideas of topics for them to discuss later on and kind of get their perspectives. But I think definitely when you're, I think that's healthy though. Like you go to a counselor by yourself as, a single person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's normal.
Right. But then because you're navigating a relationship with somebody else and you're communicating with them. I know when my husband who's out there, while we dating, we going to counseling. So I bet you better prepare right now. Prepare your copay now. Okay. But what else? Are you
watching? What are you watching?
I'm watching this movie called The Colony on Netflix.
Of course.
There's no aliens involved.
Let me guess. The world ends.
Yes. The world, technically. So they're kind of like, they're on a different planet or whatever. They come back to see if Earth is inhabitable, or it is habitable, since like radiation and all that kind of stuff. And then they end up finding out their survivors are still there and all this kind of stuff. So I'm about like 45 minutes into it. So it's good so far. The Wilds is coming back for season 2.
I cannot wait. That was such a good one. There's been so many. Okay, so have you seen, of course, a TikTok? I don't watch anything else. Have you seen the TikTok going around? And the girl is like a culture, not tracker, but basically she looks at the trends between what's going on in the economy and the world and the U.S. in particular, and how that kind of affects the content we get, the movies that are made, the scripts that are written, all of that stuff.
No.
So like after 9/11 happened, we got all the superhero movies, all
Very
the
true.
Zero Dark 30s, all of that shit. Everyone wanted to be a
Olympus has
hero.
fallen.
Yeah. And she was talking about like her predictions for what's coming up and all that stuff. But I was just thinking, because we have all the, and it was like all of the what is that movie called where the little boys eat each other? Lord of the
Ew.
Flies. Not eat each other, but yeah.
Like cannibalism?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Lord
never
of the
seen
Flies.
that.
You never read Lord of the Flies?
I don't read.
That's what the Wilds, Yellow Jackets, all of that shit is Lord of the Flies. Like, what happens when...
Is that a movie? Did they make a movie?
They do. That
Oh.
one's sad. That little chunky boy. But
The fat ones always die.
The fat ones are the first ones to fucking go.
And then they're barbecuing them and then they're crying. Oh, we don't want to eat Johnny.
But basically, like, what constitutes, like, your morals? What do you do when you have to return to, like, this animalistic...
Well, I think we saw that in the pandemic.
Yeah, so they're kind of like, and how zombies, and so they were saying how, all these movies came out about zombies and like what's actually morally right, even when, the world's turned upside down and all of this shit. All that to say, we got all these shows like The Wilds and Yellow Jackets and all these things about people being stranded places and having to figure it out. That's all I was going with.
Listen, I think we got a taste of it in the pandemic because people were overbuying stuff and they were stockpiling even though their neighbors didn't have stuff, and people were like, I don't have toilet paper, and it's like, well, use water. I mean, just wash your ass. You got a whole house with water.
Bidets.
Like the pandemic, we did not have electricity. We literally had electricity. Go wash your ass. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we definitely saw that. People getting what they can for themselves and not caring about their neighbor, unfortunately. And people kind of going into silos and saying, okay, well, my group of people are going to be taken care of. I don't give a shit what happens to the rest of y'all. But yeah, I mean, this world is cruel. God forbid an apocalypse actually happens. The whole world, everybody gonna die. Everybody gonna die. Because nobody's gonna take care of each other.
No.
People in the nursing homes, like you saw on The Walking Dead, like the staff was like still there with the nursing homes, like nursing home residents, like 6 months later. Child, please, Gertrude and them, y'all gonna fend for yourselves. Peace, bitch. They just gonna have to. So The Wilds is getting ready to come out, but also too, Umbrella Academy season 3 is getting ready to come out. I got my cousin hooked on it now. Shout out to Donna.
So good.
So she just finished season 2. She's like, no,
I love
I'm
that.
ready for it to come out.
Missy Elliott is in it.
What, in Umbrella Academy?
Mary J. Blige. Missy Elliott? Who's in that
Is
show?
in Umbrella Academy? Neither one of them.
Who is it?
No one.
Who's that black lady?
That's not.
Who is that?
Oh, sweet Lamb of Jesus.
Wait, who is it?
Wow.
That's somebody.
That girl said Missy Elliott or Mary J. Blige. Neither one of them look alike, and that is not who played the girl who says, do you want to tell us? I heard a rumor that is not her.
No, not her. I'm talking about the one.
Mary J. Blige does play in there. Yes, she does.
Mary J. Blige plays
She's the one the killer that comes after the little brother.
Yes. I'm not crazy.
I was
You're
just
crazy.
like, I'm thinking you're talking about she played one of the kids from the Umbrella Academy. I was like, what?
No. They have weird names.
Yeah, she died like a bunch of times in there because they kept blowing each other up.
I don't remember what her name was.
Yeah, that was Mary J. Blige.
Cha-Cha.
Definitely. Cha-Cha, yes. She plays Cha-Cha in Umbrella Academy. I was like, where were you going with that?
I love her in that show.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's coming out as well too. You want to go to the Rehab Corner?
Let's walk on over.
Right.
Do.
So what are we talking about in Rehab Corner today?
Let me tell you this. Obviously, I'm not married.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't have a line of suitors at my door.
Okay.
The amount of proposals I get at work fucking blows my mind.
You got proposed to this week?
All the time. But yes, this week. I did get proposed to by someone who told me they're a millionaire. I don't know. I haven't.
How old is he?
Like 65.
Ooh, that's good.
I know, right on the borderline.
Yeah.
My thing is, I think men just want to be completely taken care of.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, this is disgusting. What am I supposed to do? Go home with your fucking heart failure ass and just keep dressing you and bathing you for the rest of our life together?
He has $1 million. Yeah.
He does. But I mean, what if like 30 years I'd have to hold out? He's got a bad valve.
He'll go in 10.
That's what I'm thinking. Every day I sit here and have these conversations with myself. I want you to know that.
Is it worth it to cross that line?
So, y'all are out here at the bar. You try to come buy me a drink and you spit whack game, and just know that I have a 65-year-old man who's in love with me at work and is a millionaire and would love for me to spend the next 15 soft 20 years of his life with him. And that's all I've been learning at work this week.
Well, that's good that you got proposed to. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's nice. I think I'm gonna I need to start taking pictures of them and just kind of keeping a little journal for myself.
Maybe it'll turn into like a Netflix movie or something.
Maybe.
A biopic.
Maybe. I sounded like fucking Julia Fox. I don't know.
Uncut Gems. Well, I did see in the news lately, the Democrats actually, the House Democrats actually passed a bill, or passed the House to cap insulin at $35.
As they should, because that is insane to me that they charge as much as they do for insulin, which people with type 1 diabetes need to live.
Seriously.
Because their body just doesn't do it. It's not like Botox or something.
And insulin is so cheap to make.
Whatever happened with the synthetic insulin? Did we figure that out?
I think there was a company that did figure it out that was trying to offer the insulin for free. But I feel like when we mentioned them, I'm not saying that it was because of us, but all of a sudden now you just haven't heard of them.
You have, yeah.
And so it's kind of like the guy who made his car run off water, and the government allegedly. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you didn't watch Morbius, right?
No.
Okay, well, in Morbius, Jared Leto is a doctor, and he created synthetic blood, and I was just like, how fucking cool would it be if we had synthetic blood?
Oh, please don't say that. No.
They would, because you could.
They'd be cloning people then at that point.
Cloning people?
Yeah.
But you could save so many people if everyone had access to this blood.
When has the government ever used anything like that for good? They've always used it for evil. Allegedly.
In the movies, that's how it works.
Exactly.
They need to cap insulin. It's insane to me the amount that they charge for even EpiPens.
EpiPens is ridiculous. $600 for EpiPen.
Things that, I don't know. It's not like these are medical necessities people need because their body just doesn't do it.
And the thing is, even with type 1 diabetes, like I don't care how much carbs, whatever you eat, you cannot control you having type 1 diabetes. Mm-hmm. Like you literally, some children are just born with it. Like you cannot, that's type 2. Yes. You control.
But also even with type 2, and yeah, Michelle Obama did whatever the fuck she did and took away our good snacks. There's no health literacy in schools. You sound
very bitter about that.
I am, because it happened during my high school years, and all my sodas got taken away for some nasty sugar-free ass snacks.
And see, now you don't have diabetes. Thank you, Michelle Obama. See?
My BMI is a little high, but I do not have diabetes. There's no health literacy in schools. So true. These kids don't know better. And parents, it's not like you have a parent who's staying at home anymore. Parents are out. They're working. They need fast meals. Our food is all processed to shit.
And it's cheap.
I'm just like, you're giving these people these issues, and diabetes leads to everything, dude. It's
it does.
Anyway, I just hate that.
Well, I brought that up too to also say that the House Democrats actually passed it. There were 193 Republicans who voted against it.
Because that's the moneymaker, baby.
You're pieces of shit.
Big pharma. That's all the money.
But I mean, I feel like never mind, I ain't gonna say that. Anyway, also too, last thing in the rehab corner, Bruce Willis made an announcement a couple weeks ago that we forgot to talk about. We put it on the docket, but we forgot to talk about it. So he made an announcement that he will no longer be doing movies or television, mainly movies, because he was diagnosed with aphasia. Which
is weird to me because he didn't have a stroke, correct?
I don't think he did, no.
I didn't hear that. He's just aphasic.
I wonder if maybe he has like a TBI that he hasn't released. And then, because he does a lot of action movies.
Non-traumatic or something?
Yeah, maybe a non-traumatic TBI or something like that. But I don't think he's had a stroke. But he's no longer... So, but for people who don't know what aphasia is, it's basically an inability to properly communicate. So you can have two different types. There can be an expressive, which means that you can hear and understand what people are saying to you, but the communication center in your brain, which is Broca's area, when you go to actually talk to form words and sentences, it comes out as like what we call in the healthcare field word salad. And then there's another one that is receptive aphasia, where you cannot understand what we're saying to process it, but you can make complete sentences when you want to talk. So I don't know if he was having issues with being able to learn his lines and being able to say his lines properly and things of that nature. But he said that he is.
Can you imagine if it was expressive and he was just like, ooh, blah, blah. Because you know when people, y'all, when people, first of all, it is the wildest thing when it's expressive because it's just like they're talking. It's like when someone's drunk and you're trying to be nice and they're just like, I can't even pretend to do it because it'll just make me sound stupid.
Well, my dad actually had that. My dad, he had a tumor on Broca's area. Anyway, so he had expressive aphasia where he was unable to express what he wanted. So, for example, I remember one day he said to me, Monica, can you make me some coffee? And I'm like, sure. I'm not a coffee drinker. And my mom at the time didn't have like a Keurig. So I'm sitting here putting little Folgers, whatever things in there. 2 scoops. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so I bring him back the coffee. And so I was like, oh, Daddy, here's your coffee. And he was just like, what do you mean? I wanted some donuts. And I was like, what? You asked me for coffee? He was like, Monica, coffee and the donuts and then the sky and I'm like, what what are you talking about?
And they just start saying words and it's like just as I'm talking to you now is how I hear myself. They don't hear
it.
That they are just saying random words, which is hard. And then receptive is even harder because
receptive is horrible. Receptive I think is worse than expressive.
Trying to tell someone what to do with receptive aphasia,
you have to literally just demonstrate it because if you don't demonstrate it, they're not gonna get it. Like if
you're talking like this and it's like they've never heard this language in their entire life.
You're talking word salad to them, but they can communicate perfectly fine back to you. But with expressive, it's like you hear and you understand, but you cannot articulate.
They're both extremely frustrating.
They are.
And they're extremely frustrating for you trying to communicate with them because you're like, I just can't. It's rough.
Yeah, it is.
God bless a speech therapist.
Seriously. Well, and OTs too, because
we do.
Y'all deal with the cognition portion. We're just barbaric. Can you walk? All right. Don't give a shit if you talk.
Move the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if do you think he has dementia or something? You think something?
I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he has like some kind of like, not advanced, but like early onset of something. I'm not sure.
It would make acting very hard.
It would because acting is very fast paced, and when you're on set, you're wasting a lot of money and time, and they don't have time to wait on you to get it together. And that would, even if you would feed him the lines, he knows what the lines are, but he can't repeat it back to you. That's
what's the last movie he was in? Do you know? When I think Bruce Willis, I think Die Hard.
Die Hard. What was the other one? Come on, my man. Come on, my man. Fifth Element. Yeah.
That's a good. I saw a bunch of people dressed up like that the last couple Halloweens. So good.
Chris, what's his name?
Sixth Sense. Yeah, about that. Armageddon.
The Sixth Sense was good. Yeah, Armageddon was good.
Pulp Fiction.
That was a weird movie, but nonetheless, it was a good movie.
Forgot about all these. The Kid.
I don't know the last movie he did.
I don't either. 2021 Apex. And American Siege. He out here making movies.
Yeah. But he did another movie where they robbed a banker, something like that. But I wonder too, because I feel like Bruce Willis doesn't, as he's gotten older, he doesn't really have as many like speaking roles. Like his presence is still there, but he's not speaking as much. So I wonder if that had to do with it as well too. Like if he was dealing with that at the time.
I don't know. But, God bless him. That's rough.
I know. That's so sad because people think because you can't express yourself that there's a cognitive, deficit, and it is to a degree, but he still has capacity to make decisions for himself. He
like people think you're stupid.
Exactly.
You're not stupid. You're just,
You have a communicative disorder.
Yeah.
Communication disorder.
I can't imagine but what's really cool is that sometimes with people with aphasia, you just have to find the thing. So like sometimes it's music.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's pictures. Sometimes it's art. And that's the only way that they can communicate. Like I've seen things where like it's people who are really good with music. They'll put letters to music notes and that's how that person communicates, which is so cool.
I saw this. There's this one guy on TikTok. He has millions of followers. He's a heavyset white guy. He had a traumatic brain injury, I think from, I don't know if it was a car accident. I think he ended up just having like an aneurysm and it blew. And he's aphasic. And so he has expressive aphasia. So he understands exactly what you're saying. But then like his wife and his family purposefully makes him go out and like he'll order food from restaurants and stuff like that. And so you can tell he understands, but the way he has to communicate it, he has like his own language now that his family has learned to understand with him, and also just kind of gesturing and pointing out different pictures and all that kind of stuff. But
that's wild.
Yeah. So Or our prayers and thoughts are with Bruce Willis. He's not dying. It's just the fact that he has aphasia.
His life's just real hard right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, that's your craft, and you've been an actor for a top Hollywood actor for a very long time, and then, something that's uncontrollable, unfortunately. So prayers out to him. But anyway, anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No. Team Randall from The Ultimatum.
Ugh,
really appreciated him.
Nah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, I didn't see the rest, so I can't say
You didn't see the rest. You're not allowed to talk about it. Peaky Blinders, season 6. I'm coming for you. That show.
Obsessed with that show.
No one told me how good it was, and I'm so pissed.
You haven't been talking about Yellowstone in a minute.
Because Yellowstone's on hold.
Oh, okay.
We're waiting for the new season to come out.
Okay. I was like, what? Did they cancel it?
See, I had a Yellowstone-sized hole in my heart until I found Peaky Blinders, and now I'm pacified. So I'm season 5. I'll watch 6, and then I'll need something else.
Abbott Elementary is
Abbott Elementary's still so good.
Their season finale was on Tuesday, so I have to go back and watch it. And then Blackish, their series finale is actually, I think, today, Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really want to watch, or I've heard good things about the Elizabeth Holmes show on Hulu. You remember the girl who did Theranos with the blood testing stuff? Amanda Seyfried is...
No.
She basically... There's a documentary on HBO. You should watch
I was
it.
going to say, it's like really apocalyptic, because it sounds like it.
Kind of. It's kind of like... I don't know. She was this girl who... frauded all of these investors.
Oh, yeah, that girl. Yeah.
So they made a show on Hulu, and it's supposed to be good.
Finding Anna is on Netflix.
Yes, they made a show on Hulu, but her voice annoys the shit out of me, so I haven't watched it, because she starts getting that deep voice real annoying.
Use it with the captions. Just watch it with the captions.
I do. I watch everything with captions. Do you not watch captions?
No, because I'll be looking at the captions and not looking at the
I have to watch everything with captions.
Are you serious?
I need, I have to be paying extra attention to know...
Captions are so distracting, because I will literally look at the captions and then not look at the video, and I'm like, I hate
Ma'am, I have a diagnosis.
Do you really?
Yes, I have to be 18 senses on, or I'm going to be doing 8 different things. So
all I know is your ADD does not help you to answer your text messages, but anyway.
It does not. That is correct.
And I don't think that's not a symptom of your diagnosis.
That's a me thing.
That's
me. It's a Gemini thing.
It's not a Gemini thing. No. You're just an asshole.
Oh, okay.
But at least it's equal opportunity, because at least you don't respond to everybody.
That's true. That is true.
So
don't text me.
I don't feel disrespected, mostly. 25% yes. But anyway, neither here nor there. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Please join us again next
Easter.
week. Happy Easter. Happy 4th of July.
You.
Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Happy Easter. Happy 4th of July. I hope you like my happy birthday bean pie.
Bean pie?
It was from a different world.
What's bean pie?
Ray's barbecue. All right, it's dinner time.
What's only pies?
It's a different world. Ray's, it was a barbecue spot, and the guy, anyway, it was Ron and Dwayne. No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well, y'all just remember to spread love,
spread light,
and don't forget to laugh your face off. That's loud in the microphone. So much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off every Tuesday where new episodes are released.